Hi everyone, today we're going to talk about lesson 97, converting fractions to percents in word problems. So example number 1, if 8 of the 20 students are boys, what percent of the students are boys? Now there are two different ways that we can do this. The first two examples we'll go through one way, and examples 3 and 4 we'll do another. So the first way, we have our fraction. 8 of the 20 students are boys. But I know that in order to turn this into a percent, my fraction needs to have a denominator of 100. So I go through the process of finding out what fraction equivalent to 1 I need to multiply by in order to get to 100. So I know that 20 times 5 is 100. So I multiply my entire fraction, 8/20ths times 5/5. 8 times 5 is 40. 41/100ths is equivalent to 40%. And there is my answer. So the key thing here is to remember that your fraction needs to be converted to equal 100% in the denominator. Okay, let's look at example 2. Example 2 says, there were 400 beads in all. If 60 beads were red, what percent of the beads were red? So I have 60 beads out of 400 beads altogether. And I need to get to a denominator of 100. Normally, I would multiply it. That's what we've been doing for the past several lessons. However, because I am starting with a total of 400, I need to get down to 100, so I'm actually going to have to divide. 400 divided by what equals 100? That would be 4. So I'm going to divide 60 divided by 4 and get 15. 15/100ths is equivalent to 15%. So if your original denominator is larger than 100, you're going to have to divide or reduce it in order to get down to something equivalent to 100. Okay? All right, let's look at example number 3. Okay, the team won 2/3 of its games. Find the percent of games the team won. In this problem, if I was to try to solve it like this, I would run into problems because 3 does not go into 100 evenly. So I can't multiply by one whole number in order to reach 100. So instead, we're going to multiply by 100. I'm going to multiply by 100%. 2 times, think of this as a percent. 2 times 100 is 200. 3 times 1 is 3. And now I can divide. 200 divided by 3. 3 doesn't go into 2. 3 goes into 26 times. 6 times 3 is 18. Bring down, do it again. That's a 2 down there. So I'm left with 66 2/3%. So if you need to convert a number to a percentage where the denominator does not go into 100 evenly, you can actually multiply it by 100% and divide. Now, I have told you guys before also that it's possible to do it this way. Divide first, and then multiply by 100, but you're going to get a fraction or a small decimal doing it this way. Like this. You're going to get a decimal this way, 6.66 2/3. Then you would have to multiply that by 100, and you would get the same answer. Either way works. Doing it the second way that I showed you, 2/3 times 100. This is going to probably be the easiest for now. Okay? All right, let's look at example number 4. In Mrs. Langston's 5th grade class, 14 out of 20 students belong to an after-school club. In Mr. Rodriguez's 5th grade class, 12 out of 16 students belong to an after-school club. Which class has the greater percent of students who belong to an after-school club? So the first thing we're going to have to do is we're going to have to convert both of these to percentages. So we have 14 out of 20. $20 does go into 100 evenly, so we're going to multiply both sides by 5. 14 times 5 is 70. So 70% of students in Mrs. Langston's class are in an after-school club. And then we have 12 out of 16. But I don't know that 16 goes into 100 evenly. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to reduce this by the greatest common factor. And then I'm going to multiply to get my percentage. And we're at 75%. So 14/20 is less than 12/16. 75% is greater than 70%. So Mr. Rodriguez's class has the greater percentage. All right, that's it for examples. Off to your lesson practice, and I'll see you in the morning.